General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks, April 28 to May 9, reveal that Drew Cain will plead with Willow Corinthos, while the Sonny Corinthos mystery deepens. Max Scorpio will also investigate a crime, so there'll be a lot happening on the ABC soap. During the week of April 28 May 2, Sonny will survive that creepy nurse's attempt to eliminate him. But Carly Spencer will worry the baddie behind these hits could strike again. It looks like Carly will turn to Jack Brennan for help, so he'll offer up a theory. Will Brennan suspect Jen Sidwell is going after Sonny, or will he point the finger at someone else? Speaking of pointing the finger, Drew will be doing plenty of that once Willow comes home and finds him in bed with Jacinda. Nina Reeves will struggle with some regrets about her plan, but she'll let it ride anyway, and that means Drew's going to face Willow's angry reaction. Willow will understandably think Drew cheated when she spots another woman in bed with him, especially since Jacinda will work to sell the story. However, Drew will plead with Willow to hear him out, and will work to convince her that there must be another explanation. Once Drew thinks back to the night before, he may realize he was drugged and suspect someone set him up. Will Drew land on Nina as his top suspect? Over with Kai Taylor, he'll celebrate with Trina Robinson at the Savoy ahead of his surgery. Unfortunately, GA has been offering up some ominous hints when it comes to Kay's procedure, so it may not go according to plan. Will Kai wake up paralyzed and make one of Trina's worst fears come true? Next, Jocelyn Jacks will refuse to back down despite the challenges that keep piling up. Although Jocelyn's mission will get tricky, she'll settle on a plan to hopefully charm Professor Henry Dalton and earn her the coveted research assistant spot. That's the next step when it comes to Jocelyn's WSB assignment, so she'll work to pull it off and please Vaughn along with Brennan. Since Brooklyn Quartermain will be so stressed out over Lulu Spencer's adoption story, Harrison Chase will try to help. Chase will have a favor to ask Dante Falconeri, so he might think Dante can convince Lulu to ditch the article. Dante may not be willing to request that of Lulu, but he'll at least talk to her and try to ease the tension she's feeling with Brooklyn. Lulu and Dante's conversation will end up taking a more personal turn, so look for her to confess she's still in love with him as their emotions pour out. As for Christina Corinthos Davis, she'll put Alexis Davis on full blast over the papers to have her committed. Alexis will face Molly Lansing Davis backlash as well, so how will she handle all their questions and outrage? At some point, Alexis may speak with Christina alone and reveal the events that led to those papers being drawn up. Christina may soon find out that Ava Jerome is blackmailing Alexis, and that a mental institution stint could be her best option if her car sabotage ever blows up. Meanwhile, Mac will get updates on a crime, so will he hear about the latest attempt on Sonny's life? The PCPD may have to coordinate with the cops in Los Angeles if that hit is connected to the explosion at Sonny's penthouse. Of course, it's also possible Drew could report the whole drugging situation and try to prove to Willow that he's the victim here. Whatever the case, Mac will wind up doing some investigating. The week of May 5 to 9 could make things even more complicated for Drew, who paid a clinic worker to say Michael Corinthos wanted nothing to do with Willow. Jason Morgan could easily talk to Michael over the phone and realize he never even knew Willow came to visit. Will Drew's web of lies finally start to trip him up? Naturally, Jason will want answers about the repeated attacks on Sonny as well, and may do some digging while the mob boss recovers from his surgery. This Sonny mystery will deepen, but things will become clearer as the storyline moves along. Finally, Kai could find himself depressed following his own procedure. If Kay's condition is worse than before, he may open up to Trina about wishing he'd listened to her and steered clear of such a risky option. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers and updates for the week of Monday, April 28, Friday, May 2 tease deadly danger, unpleasant homecomings, and emotional talks. Sonny Corinthos is in deadly danger. Willow Corinthos has an unpleasant homecoming, and Dante Falconeri and Lulu Spencer have an emotional talk. On Monday, April 28, Sonny's in deadly danger as he's woken up in recovery to an intruder with a siren. Carly Spencer walks into his room and exclaims, "Oh my God!" In the meantime, Molly Lansing Davis and Christina Corinthos Davis demand answers from Alexis Davis about the commitment papers regarding Christina. However, Alexis will also receive a gift, but it's not likely from her daughters, as they're quite upset. Elsewhere, Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor enjoy a night out. Finally, Gio Palmieri turns to Emma Scorpio Drake for some help. Tuesday, April 29, Anna Devane is suspicious over something. In the meantime, Tracy Quartermain reveals shocking information to Gio. Elsewhere, Portia Robinson walks in on Curtis Ashford with Jordan Ashford. It looks like the new relationship of Marco Rios and Lucas Jones is progressing well. They're becoming closer. Elsewhere, Drew Kane makes a scene. It sounds like someone's getting under his skin. On Wednesday, April 30, Willow has an unpleasant homecoming. Might it have to do with Drew making a scene? Elsewhere, Nina Reeves has second thoughts. Perhaps she decides to fork out that $6,000 to Jacinda after all. Elsewhere, Jack Brennan has a theory he'll share. Laura Collins and Curtis confer about a situation, likely the one pertaining to the Esplanade being placed on the Corinthos Coffee Warehouse piers. Elsewhere, Alexis vents to Lulu Spencer. Thursday, May 1, Drew pleads his case. Did Nina and Portia's setup they'd planned happen after all? In the meantime, Jocelyn Jacks crafts a plan, likely to get the intel on Professor Henry Dawson she's been assigned to do. Elsewhere, Harrison Chase makes a request to Dante. In the meantime, Brooke Lynn Chase opens up to Tracy. Plus, Laura cautions Lulu with some motherly advice. On Friday, May 2, Lulu and Dante have an emotional talk. Has the secret come out about Brooke Lynn's teenage pregnancy? In the meantime, Nina debriefs with Carly, who's apparently home from Lay, unless they're on the phone. It sure sounds like the secret has come out about not only Brooke Lynn's pregnancy, but her baby being Gio, since Lois Cerullo is put on the spot. General Hospital spoilers indicate that some May sweeps chaos will erupt. Some big reveals are brewing as multiple storylines spiral out of control, so here's what viewers can expect. For starters, Drew Kane may finally get the downfall he deserves. The trouble will start with Nina Reeves' escort trap, but Drew may talk his way out of trouble and convince Willow he's innocent. Of course, GH fans know Drew is guilty of plenty of other things, like bribing that clinic employee to lie about Michael Corinthos blocking Willow's visit. There's also the matter of Drew and Nina's old hookups. It's way past time for Willow to find out Drew was sleeping with Nina while he claimed to be falling in love with her daughter. Drew will try to keep his house of cards from tumbling as long as he can, but it definitely feels like a major comeuppance is on the way. There'll also be some story developments related to Sonny Corinthos and the repeated attempts to take him out permanently. Will the penthouse explosion culprit finally be revealed? Did the same person pay that nurse to go after Sonny in Los Angeles? Although suspicions have been swirling around Jen Sidwell as the potential villain behind these hits, it's possible GH writers will go for someone more surprising in the end. Meanwhile, Jocelyn Jacks will work hard to score the research assistant position, but Professor Henry Dalton's could be more of a creep than she realizes. Professor Dalton seems way too interested in Emma Scorpio Drake, so will Jocelyn have to save her from a scandalous situation? Could Jocelyn make herself the new object of Professor Dalton's desire instead and land in a tight spot as a result? Over with Lulu Spencer. Her persistent digging could pay off if she's the one to uncover the truth about Gio Palmieri's parentage. Brooke Lynn Quartermain disapproves of Lulu's adoption story, but she might change her tune if this leads to her realizing Gio is her biological son. At the very least, Dan Falconeri seems poised to find out about Brooke Lynn's buried pregnancy during May sweeps, so he'll also find out he's got a child he never knew about. Finally, the nurses' ball will kick off May 20, so that'll set the stage for some May sweeps curveballs as well. Lucy Coe will make predictions about this being a night to remember, but that may not be a good thing for some unlucky PC residents. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Jack Brennan may have a theory for Carly Spencer. The investigation into who's going after Sonny Corinthos will heat up, so let's talk about the persistent threat he's facing. A shady nurse just targeted Sonny at the hospital in Los Angeles, despite the extra security measures that were in place. Brick was there trying to keep things safe for Sonny, but that plan obviously didn't pan out. That's probably because the woman who went after Sonny seems to be an actual nurse who's been corrupted. What better way to get to Sonny than to use someone who's present at this facility all the time and wouldn't raise any red flags? This employee was probably just paid a boatload of money to give Sonny a simple fatal injection. However, Sonny will survive this attempt on his life, so he could potentially grab the syringe and use it on this sinister nurse. Whatever the case, Sonny will use up another one of his 9 lives by pulling through this ordeal. Even so, Carly will start wondering when Sonny's luck might run out. Sonny managed to avoid facing a grim fate in that penthouse explosion, and now will avoid a fatal outcome once again at the hospital. Carly will no doubt fear the third time will be the charm if the same person is ordering these hits. Naturally, Carly will need someone to lean on after all the Sonny horror goes down in Lay. It looks like Carly will give Brennan updates in the aftermath and get some support. GA spoilers say Brennan will ultimately divulge a theory, so Carly could be the one who hears it. Perhaps Brennan will come up with a top suspect and offer to investigate it to see if it's true. Brennan has already been suspicious of Jen Sidwell, so he might point the finger at Port Charles' newest villain during this conversation with Carly. Maybe Brennan will find out about all the latest Natalia Ramirez drama and assume she leaked things that set Sidwell's latest hit in motion. Regardless, Brennan may promise that he'll do what he can to help solve the mystery. Sonny means a lot to Carly and the rest of his loved ones, so Brennan may acknowledge that and step up his efforts to nail down the truth. That said, Brennan isn't exactly a trustworthy character. Although Brennan has some good qualities, he also has plenty of flaws and dirty secrets. In other words, Brennan can't be ruled out as a potential suspect when it comes to these attempts to take Sonny out permanently. Despite Brennan's predictions about finding the culprit, he could be trying to throw Carly off the trail. Drew and Willow were front and center this week on General Hospital, which left some viewers a little nauseous. Fortunately, he may have just sealed his fate. I forgot to mention Drew's harebrained child custody document in last week's column, which he finalized this week. No judge in their right mind would turn over Wiley and Amelia to Drew should something happen to Willow and Michael. First, Drew isn't even married to Willow. Second, he'd really be in a better position if he adopted the kids. Finally, third, custody would go to a more immediate family member, one whom everyone doesn't hate. Before heading to Germany to see Michael, Willow and Drew decided to have some see ye soon sex. Oh, General Hospital. No one wanted to see that, let alone have you trying to make it seem romantic with the candles and the music. Meanwhile, Carly's running commentary and choice of words when referring to her ex-daughter-in-law, Eka the home-wrecking tramp, has at least been amusing. I should have known better than to get my hopes up that we might get a surprise Michael recast out of the trip to Germany. Clearly, the show will wait until the nurses' ball or perhaps the custody case to introduce a new Michael. Willow was told her spouse didn't want to see her, but this was a lie. Dirty Drew paid off the woman at the German clinic to deceive Willow. This was not a smart move, as Willow is bound to find out at some point that this was not the truth, and Michael never knew she was there. Nina has been noting that when Drew gets desperate, he will make a big mistake, and this could be that mistake. Someone just needs to expose the lie. Meanwhile, Nina and Portia decided to hire a hooker, drug Drew, and take some photos of her in bed with him. What could go wrong? I did get a chuckle when Nina told Jacinda that she and Portia had a unique proposal for her, and the sex worker responded, "Please, this isn't the first time I've been propositioned by two women before." The latest developments in General Hospital promise a whirlwind of drama, deception, and emotional upheaval in Port Charles from April 28 to May 9, 2025. Here's a concise breakdown of the key storylines gripping fans. Drew Cain faces a crisis when Willow Corinthos misinterprets a compromising situation involving a woman named Jacinda. Desperate to save their relationship, Drew suspects he was drugged and points to Nina Reeves as a possible orchestrator. As he battles to clear his name, the true mastermind behind the setup remains elusive, threatening to unravel his life further. Sonny Corinthos narrowly survives an assassination attempt, but the danger persists as hidden enemies plot his demise. Carly Spencer teams up with Jack Brennan to uncover the culprits, with suspicions ranging from underworld figure Jen Sidwell to a traitor closer to home. Sonny's recovery hangs in the balance as the clock ticks toward another potential attack. Max Scorpio dives into a new case that could tie to the attacks on Sonny or reveal a separate criminal undercurrent in Port Charles. His meticulous approach may intersect with Drew's predicament as evidence of possible drugging surfaces. Max's findings could send shockwaves through the city, exposing buried secrets. Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson celebrate life before his upcoming surgery, but looming hints suggest a tragic outcome. If complications leave Kai paralyzed, their bond will face a severe test. Trina's guilt and Kay's potential despair could redefine their future, challenging the strength of their love. Jocelyn Jacks employs charm and intellect to win over Professor Henry Dalton for a research assistant role tied to her covered WSB mission. Her calculated efforts aim to impress key figures like Vaughn and Jack Brennan. However, unexpected obstacles could derail her high-stakes plan. Brooklyn Quartermain struggles with the fallout of Lulu Spencer's adoption story, prompting Harrison Chase to intervene. When Chase asks Dante Falconeri to influence Lulu, their conversation unearths unresolved feelings. Lulu's heartfelt confession to Dante rekindles old sparks, complicating their loyalties and relationships. Christina Corinthos Davis clashes with Alexis Davis over documents threatening institutionalization, with Molly Lansing Davis adding to the tension. Alexis reveals Ava Jerome's blackmail as the root cause, forcing Christina to weigh resentment against empathy. The family's path to reconciliation remains uncertain. Mayor Laura Collins faces a fierce challenge from Ezra Bowl, who accuses her of favoring Sonny Corinthos. Ezra's campaign, bolstered by Jordan Ashford's resignation, culminates in a vote that strips Laura of her title. As interim mayor, Ezra targets police chief Anna Devane, dismissing her for alleged bias toward Jason Morgan. Anna vows to fight back, setting the stage for a contentious battle. Sasha Gilmore Corbin braces for Michael Corinthos' return, which threatens to unravel her carefully guarded secret about her child's paternity. Their past passion fuels tension, and Sasha's fragile facade risks crumbling under Michael's presence. As emotions flare, the truth could either reunite or destroy them. With interconnected mysteries and rising stakes, Port Charles teeters on the edge of chaos. Will Drew expose the deception? Can Sonny outwit his enemies? And will Sasha's secret survive Michael's return? Stay tuned for more twists in this gripping saga. There's nothing like grabbing your favorite gal pal and going on a road trip. However, when you happen to be setting out on an adventure with not only your best friend, but your daughters too, then the time away is promised to be filled with lots of fun and laughter. That's exactly what General Hospital's Kirsten Storms and Em Reeland did. Storms posted a photo to document the first leg of their trip. And it didn't take long for her daughter Harper and Redlands Dakota to get restless. It took approximately 30 minutes for the girls to ask how long we had been in the car for, if we could get food, and when were we going to be near a bathroom, she shared. We figured if they were eating McDonald's French fries, we wouldn't hear so many questions. We were correct. Hey, a parent's gotta do what a parent's gotta do. If you're wondering how their trip progressed, Storms posted a fun video filled with a little bit of this and a little bit of that and stated, "A little bit of our trip so far." She went on to express that no one makes her laugh like Raylan, then continued, "I found a local fire department and Emmy wouldn't stop, so I could find a representative for my new holiday. It's fine, I'm thinking a police officer might be a better choice." Apparently one of their cats had a run-in with the air mattress because she added, "Not a good combo, but duct tape can kinda fix that," as viewers can see in the video. The vanity mirror Emmy has been posting about is everything. Wait, did I mention she gets very nervous driving through a roundabout? Storms relayed and showed off a new sweater she made, one she's in love with. And coming off the holiday, she revealed, Harper's Stanley Cup got a purse for Easter, but didn't have an answer as to why. To be continued, and in another post, it appears the actress let us all know where they were heading through. The sky in Nashville though? Storms stated, "I was not prepared. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. It looks as though the girls, and their girls, are having a blast." Be sure to keep an eye out for what happens next during their adventurous road trip. General Hospital spoilers reveal a thrilling Monday ahead as Sonny Corinthos faces a deadly threat, Carly Spencer makes a terrifying discovery, and Christina Corinthos Davis rages at Alexis Davis. Meanwhile, Tracy Quartermain schemes, and Jocelyn Jacks battles high-stakes pressure in her WSB mission. Carly Spencer stumbles upon a horrifying sight in Sonny Corinthos' hospital room. After Sonny's shady nurse slips in to inject him, Sonny wakes up just in time. Carly's discovery might change everything for both of them. Will she find the nurse unconscious, or worse? Meanwhile, at the law office, Christina Corinthos Davis unleashes her fury on Alexis Davis. Christina feels completely betrayed after learning about the commitment papers. Alexis faces her daughter's wrath as Molly Lansing Davis watches. But the real story could change Christina's view. It might have been Diane Miller's idea to keep Christina out of jail. Elsewhere at General Hospital, Brad Cooper vents to Portia Robinson about their awful new arrangement. Brad hates doing Portia's dirty work, but he knows quitting would cost him his job. For now, he must keep playing along to survive. Over at the Quartermain mansion, Tracy Quartermain plots her next move. She presents Giovanni Gio Palmieri with some damaging information, hoping to shake his loyalty to Sonny. Gio has stood by Sonny so far, but will Tracy's manipulation succeed in changing his mind? Across town, Jordan Ashford pulls Curtis Ashford aside with urgent updates. Her intel might tie back to her mission involving Jen Sidwell. Curtis may need to act fast if they want to stay ahead of the trouble brewing. At the same time, Jocelyn Jacks faces mounting frustrations with her WSB assignment. Vaughn reminds her that getting close to Professor Henry Dalton is the key to winning the research assistant spot. Though doubts creep in, Jocelyn refuses to back down. She is determined to complete her mission no matter what. The drama intensifies at the Savoy as Emma Scorpio Drake works to impress Professor Dalton. However, Dalton's unsettling behavior suggests darker intentions. Jocelyn may sense the danger and intervene before things take a nasty turn. Back at the hospital, Carly's alarmed reaction hints at serious trouble for Sonny. His fate might hang by a thread depending on how this deadly encounter ends. Will Sonny manage to defend himself against another hit, or will the threat finally catch up to him? The action-packed General Hospital spoilers for Monday Guarantee drama fans won't want to miss a single moment. Carly, Sonny, Christina, and Jocelyn all face major turning points that could shift their lives forever. Keep following Soap Opera Daily for more sizzling General Hospital spoilers. In the latest developments on General Hospital, Lulu Spencer's suspicions have transformed from a faint whisper to an overwhelming certainty. As she delves deeper into the mystery surrounding Gio Palmieri's past, the unsettling details begin to piece together in a way that is impossible to ignore. Despite her heart's reluctance, Lulu is forced to face the reality that Gio could be the child Dant and Brooklyn lost many years ago, a possibility that has left deep scars for all involved. Chase, ever loyal to his friends and guided by his instincts as a cop, has also sensed the growing unrest. He initially vowed to keep Brooklyn's secret, but the mounting evidence has led him to support Lulu's quest for answers. The two women, once rivals, have now joined forces in a secretive plan that hinges on a DNA test. A dangerous endeavor that could unravel the fragile lives they've all worked to build. The stakes are high. If the DNA test confirms the connection between Gio and Rocco, the revelation will send shockwaves through their families, exposing long-buried truths that could destroy everything. Lulu and Brooklyn's plan is carefully crafted, with every step scrutinized to avoid detection. The weight of their secret is undeniable, and as tensions rise, others begin to sense the brewing storm. Lois Chirillo, driven by a mother's instinct, is increasingly aware of the danger lurking beneath the surface and works desperately to control the narrative. However, her frantic efforts only serve to heighten the tension as she tries to cover up the truth. The truth, however, refuses to stay hidden. As Lulu receives the DNA test results confirming Gio's connection to Rocco, the shock is undeniable. There is no more room for doubt. Gio is the child that Dant and Brooklyn thought they had lost forever. This revelation sets off a chain of events, with each character struggling to navigate the emotional fallout. Lulu, armed with the undeniable proof, finds herself at a crossroads. She has the motivation to confront Brooklyn and Lois, driven by a desire to expose the lies and restore what has been taken. Brooklyn, on the other hand, is consumed by fear as she faces the inevitability of the truth being exposed. Lois, ever the manipulator, is desperate to protect her daughter and Gio, but the walls are closing in. The plot thickens as emotions run high. Lulu's pursuit of the truth becomes a force that cannot be stopped, and the tension in Port Charles builds to an explosive crescendo. Every character is caught in the web of lies, with their personal relationships on the brink of collapse. Chase, torn between his loyalty to Brooklyn and his commitment to the truth, faces the most difficult decision of his life. His love for her conflicts with his sense of morality, creating an internal struggle that only deepens as the situation becomes more dire. As the lies continue to unravel, Gio finds himself caught in the middle of a storm not of his making. A young man full of ambition and determination, Gio begins to realize the depth of the betrayal and deceit that has surrounded him. The truth about his identity is revealed, but the consequences are far-reaching, and the fallout will change the course of his life forever. Port Charles is on the edge of an emotional collapse as the truth threatens to expose all the secrets that have been carefully guarded for years. The relationships that once seemed unbreakable are now fragile and vulnerable, and no one is immune to the fallout. The struggle for control, the fight for the truth, and the pursuit of justice will lead to an inevitable confrontation. One that will shatter lives and change the course of the future. The storm is coming, and no one can predict the full extent of the damage it will cause. As the drama continues to unfold, one thing is clear: the consequences of the truth will be felt by everyone in Port Charles. Gio, once the innocent pawn, is now a free agent determined to reclaim what was stolen from him. The adults who tried to manipulate and control him will soon realize that they have underestimated the power of the truth. The upcoming battle will not just expose Gio's true identity, but will also unravel the fragile web of lies that has ensnared the lives of those involved. ABC's General Hospital is heating up as Christina Davis spirals further out of control, setting the stage for a massive family crisis. In recent developments, Christina's obsession with Ava Jerome culminated in a disastrous decision. She attempted to sabotage Ava's car, but mistakenly targeted Rick Lansing's vehicle, nearly killing both Rick and Elizabeth Weber in the process. The fallout is swift and devastating. Ava, having uncovered Christina's actions, is blackmailing Alexis Davis to protect her daughter's secret. Desperate to keep Christina out of prison, Alexis turns to embezzling funds from Ace's trust account, a decision that jeopardizes her legal career and personal freedom. The situation grows even more complicated when Molly Lansing Davis stumbles upon commitment papers that Alexis secretly arranged through Diane Miller, intending to have Christina admitted to Shady Brook Psychiatric Facility against her will. Due to a careless mistake, Diane labeling the envelope only with the last name Davis, Molly reads the documents, setting off a dangerous chain of events. Molly's discovery threatens to unravel the Davis family from within. If she confronts Diane or Christina, the truth about Christina's attempt on Rick's life will surface, potentially destroying the sisters' once close bond. Molly, known for her strong moral compass, could very well turn Christina over to authorities or worse, inform Rick himself, throwing the entire cover-up into chaos. Meanwhile, Alexis faces impossible choices. To shield Christina, she risks everything, even as Ava's extortion demands escalate. Every new payment to Ava deepens Alexis's criminal liability, putting both mother and daughter on a collision course with disaster. Christina is left with three bleak options: allow Alexis to continue paying Ava's blackmail, confess to the police and risk prison time, voluntarily commit herself to Shady Brook, preserving a narrative of mental instability that could mitigate legal consequences. The third path, self-admittance to Shady Brook, emerges as the least destructive option. Christina's growing realization that she needs help, not just legal protection, marks a significant shift in her character. What began as blind rage toward Ava has evolved into deep regret and a desire for personal accountability. But Christina's internal struggle is far from over. She's tormented by the knowledge that Molly's discovery of the commitment papers could destroy their relationship forever. Compounding the crisis, Cody Bell inadvertently learns fragments of the truth, becoming yet another wild card in this volatile situation. Alexis and Diane scramble to manage the legal and emotional fallout, but even their best efforts may not prevent an explosion. Molly's confrontation with Diane is imminent, and every revelation threatens to expose the dark secrets the Davis family has fought so hard to bury. Meanwhile, Christina drafts a heartfelt letter to her family, confessing everything, from her hatred of Ava to the fateful sabotage that almost claimed Rick's life. She hopes the letter will explain her decision to commit herself to Shady Brook, not as an act of evasion, but as a first step toward true healing and redemption. Tensions continue to escalate across Port Charles. Should Sonny Corinthos, Christina's father, discover Ava's blackmail, the consequences could turn violent, plunging the town into another brutal gang war. Each passing moment tightens the noose around the Davis family, with their relationships, futures, and freedom hanging in the balance. Nancy Lee Grahn, who plays the role of Alexis Davis on General Hospital, had to scurry back to a store to return an item she hadn't paid for. Currently visiting Japan, the ABC star found out that the Japanese don't take kindly to shoplifting, so she seemed genuinely concerned about her inadvertent crime. Read on for the details. Kate Grahn and her mom took a break from life in the USA and hightailed it to Kyoto recently. There, they immersed themselves in the tranquility of the culture. However, Nancy seemed anything but tranquil on Friday night. On Instagram, she shared a photo of herself looking worried. In her caption, the real-life Alexis Davis told her GH fans. "See that beaded necklace? Tried it on in a store about 45 minutes away on boat in Haikon. Unfortunately, while getting ready for bed, I realized I was still wearing it. We are once again heading back to the store to confess. I hear it's just 21 days in jail here for thievery." One follower suggested that the shop owner might forgive her, but possibly she'd still needed to buy the necklace. It's not a bad idea, because it looked quite nice. Meanwhile, Lisa Locicero joked, "The role of Alexis Davis will be played today by..." More ABC fans commented on the mistake that Nancy Lee Grahn made. Here are a few of them. As you can see from the comments, Nancy Lee Grahn found a lot of amused reactions. However, the chances of her being jailed for 21 days after confessing her error seem slim. At least the GH star noticed that she walked out the store with it before she left the country. So far, it seems that the mistake that almost verged on shoplifting might be the only ripple in the waters of her fantastic vacation. Hopefully, she will soon be able to laugh about it. Have you ever inadvertently broken the laws in a foreign country? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to come back here often for all your General Hospital news and cast updates. The latest episode of General Hospital, aired on April 29, 2025, brings an intense wave of secrets, betrayals, and undercover missions that threaten to reshape Port Charles forever. In a series of tightly woven storylines, familiar faces grapple with dangerous revelations, fractured loyalties, and escalating tensions. Carly Spencer's visit to Los Angeles takes a chilling turn when she uncovers a hidden compartment in Sonny Corinthos' hotel suite, containing cryptic notes and an unknown substance. The unsettling discovery hints at a potential conspiracy involving figures from Sonny's past. Determined to protect him, Carly embarks on a dangerous quest for the truth, fully aware that exposing the hidden threat may place her squarely in harm's way. Her actions signal a pivotal moment where trust and betrayal collide, with possible ripple effects across Port Charles. Back in Port Charles, tensions within the Davis family explode. Christina Corinthos Davis confronts her mother, Alexis Davis, after discovering confidential legal documents suggesting a plot that could undermine Christina's independence. Amid accusations and raw emotions, the confrontation reveals deep-seated grievances and raises doubts about Alexis's true motives. Was she acting to protect Christina from an external scandal, or seeking control over her daughter's life? This fracture leaves lasting uncertainty about forgiveness and trust within the Davis family. At the upscale Savoy venue, ambition and covert operations collide. Emma Scorpio Drake attempts to impress Professor Henry Dalton, unaware of his sinister undertones. Meanwhile, Jocelyn Jacks, operating under WSB orders, aims to infiltrate Dalton's inner circle by securing a research assistant position. Their intersecting ambitions spark a subtle standoff, hinting at deeper secrets tied to Dalton's shadowy research. As Jocelyn edges closer to her target, ethical boundaries blur, foreshadowing betrayals yet to come. Jocelyn's covert mission intensifies as her handler, Vaughn, pressures her to secure critical intelligence from Dalton. Wrestling with her conscience, Jocelyn is forced to consider how far she is willing to go to protect those she loves. Her journey highlights a battle between personal morality and the demands of espionage, setting the stage for hard choices with potentially lasting consequences. Within General Hospital, a different kind of war brews. Brad Cooper vents his frustrations to Portia Robinson over his increasingly dubious assignments. Feeling manipulated and trapped, Brad must decide whether to continue playing Portia's dangerous game or risk rebellion. The shifting dynamics suggest a deeper power struggle within the hospital, where personal ambition and ethical compromise increasingly dictate professional life. Meanwhile, Tracy Cordain engages in a quiet but significant manipulation effort at the Cordain mansion. She attempts to sow seeds of doubt in Giovanni "Gio" Palmieri, about his loyalty to Sonny Corinthos, presenting selective and potentially fabricated accounts of Sonny's darker history. Gio's internal conflict could have profound consequences, with Tracy's true motivations remaining deliberately obscured. This encounter underscores the fragile nature of loyalty in a town driven by legacy and influence. In a tense and private meeting, Jordan Ashford warns Curtis Ashford of an impending threat tied to her past. The information suggests the return of a formidable international operative with dangerous ties to Port Charles. As they strategize in secret, the looming danger hints at broader consequences that could disrupt the lives of many, weaving this personal warning into the larger fabric of escalating chaos. This latest exploration of General Hospital intricately weaves personal dramas, covert operations, and hidden agendas into a tapestry of escalating tension. Carly's dangerous discovery, Christina's confrontation, and Jocelyn's moral dilemma exemplify a town where secrets rarely stay buried, and every action carries weighty consequences. Drew finally gets what's coming to him. April 28, May 2 on General Hospital is going to be a big one for Drew, Sonny, and Mac. Here are 3 major moments to watch out for this week in Port Charles. Last week ended with a shock when it was revealed that Drew paid someone at the hospital in Germany to turn Willow and tell her that Michael wants nothing to do with her. At the same time, Nina and Portia set a plan in motion to take the congressman down. When Willow received an unpleasant homecoming midweek, it will most likely be because she walks in on Drew in bed with a prostitute, courtesy of Nina, after being drugged by Portia. It's the perfect plan to get Willow to end things with him for good, unless he convinced her otherwise when he pleads his case to her the next day. The week will kick off with Sonny being in danger. He made it through his open heart surgery with flying colors, but now that a mysterious nurse injected his IV with something, he may not be out of the woods just yet. Will Carly get to her ex-husband in time to save his life? And who is behind this latest attack? The week will end with Mac learning of a crime. It's been a minute since we've seen the chief of detectives, and now he's for a crime on his hands. But whose? Will it be Nina and Portia's? Or maybe Ava or Rick share what they know about Christina's part in the accident?